Hey there, everybody. This is Luis bringing you a deck profile of a top 24 Abyss Actor deck. And this is my boy here. We got my boy Mike. Say hello, Mike.
What's up?
Yo, so tell us what you did this last Sunday at Las Vegas.
So I got 20th place in the regionals over here.
And it was out of how many people you remember?
190 something.
Yeah. All right, so show us the sauce, because you played some memes.
Okay.
Okay.
So, just say the reason I think the deck's good first, or?
Yeah, just tell us why you played the deck.
So, the meta, a lot of people play Scythe and whatnot, or DPE, and a couple hand traps. So this deck is pretty good under Scythe Lock because it really doesn't need the extract at all to kill your opponent. So they can Scythe Lock you and have like one Griffin, and if that's all they have with like an Ash, then you will just like insta kill them. They won't do anything. But going second, we'll talk about it later. But there's a good spell card in here, so let's go to the monsters.
Yeah. Show us.
So 3 Mil Madonnas. It has a lot of effects. It's a pendulum effect. You kind of want to make sure you use it last because it locks you into Abyss Actor Pendulum monsters, and it searches you any Abyss Actor Pendulum monster from your deck to your hand, and you take 1,000 life points as cost to do so. Its monster effect is when it's on the field, it gets 100 per script in your graveyard, which comes up, and then when you activate a script, it special summons any Abyss Actor monster from deck.
Okay. So did you normally summon this guy?
It's really good because the Abyss Actor extra deck monster puts special card from your scale. So you use her effect to search a card, then you can special her, and then use a script to use her other effect to special from deck. So you get to use both her effects, even if you only like open one of her.
It's pretty fucking good. Good. Alright.
Then you have Superstar. He's how you get your scripts. He not once per turn on either of his effects, so you can cycle him a bunch of different times. Is on the scale, he tributes a card as cost to get an Abyss script from your graveyard and add it to your hand once per turn. And then once on the field, it can set an Abyss script from your deck, which can dodge Ash and things like that, which is really nice.
And what about when it's summoned?
When it's summoned, your opponent can't react to the summon of this card with spell or trap effects. So it can help, like if they have Torrential Tribute or like need the trap hole thing. It's like the old trap tricks run. You can just they can't activate it.
Okay.
Then the one card that everyone knows that actually has a even more broken effect in Abyss Actors. If it's on your scale once per duel, you can special summon it. But its other effect is as cost, you can mill any Abyss script from your deck to your graveyard and add an Abyss Actor from your extra deck back to your hand.
Is that the monster effect?
That's the monster effect.
Okay, so it mills as cost.
Yeah, mills
pretty
as
fucking
cost.
good, bro.
And the mill as cost, that thing to get from your extra deck is not once per turn. So you can just cycle it and pen summon it out and do it again.
Alright.
Then you have Abyss Actor Wild Hope. He is really great at fixing your other scale. He makes your other scale on 9 and locks you to Abyss Actors. But when his monster effect is when he's destroyed, he searches an Abyss Actor card from your deck. And his other effect is on the field, he can gain 100 attack per Abyss Actor monster, not once per turn. So if you have multiple Wild Hopes, they can just buff themselves up to just be like 2k beaters.
Oh, okay. Are these like all 3 ofs, by the way? Like I haven't been stating, but like these are all 3 ofs, right?
Yes, also far these are all 3 ofs.
Yeah. Alright.
The next one I run is Sassy Rookie as a 3 of. The reason I run him as a 3 of is because his spell effect is when he's on the scale. Just like Meow, if a card would be destroyed, you can destroy him instead. And if he is destroyed off your scale, he kills any level 4 or lower monster your opponent controls. With Battle Butler and with DPE, you can have this on your scale, and it protects you from like a Raigeki. If you have your Madonna on your scale and you use Abyss Actor Hybrid Director to pull her up, you can replace her with a Sassy Rookie in case you have all the cards you need, because that just protects you from Raigeki or DPE. They can't like DPE your stuff anymore.
So this is how you were able to beat the DPEs and Battle Butlers all day. You just protected yourself.
Yep.
And
then its other monster effect is really great for stalling. It has to be killed 2 times per turn. Destroy the battle or card effect, and when it dies, not once per turn, it special summons any Abyss Actor 4 or lower from my deck.
So it dies and comes back, or?
So when he is destroyed by battle or card effect, he can special summon any Abyss Actor 4 or lower from my deck to the field.
Okay.
And that is not once per turn on any of these. So if you have multiple Sassy Rookies, they both have to be killed twice, and they both special summon from the deck.
Oh, you mean it protects itself one time and then it dies? So
yeah.
Damn.
So it's like 6 bodies if you have 2 of these on the field.
Okay.
I run one of her because she's pretty good sometimes.
Who's this? Some of us are not familiar with the names.
Oh,
So,
sorry.
like me.
This actor leading lady, what it does is when it's destroyed on the field by battle or card effect, it can set any script from your deck to the field, which is pretty nice. You normally want to summon it if you're going in defensive mode off of Sassy Rookie, so he gets a special card from the deck. You can special Wild Hope and he searches your card, or you can special summon Leading Lady and she'll set a script. The other effect is good for beating over monsters. It's when any player takes battle damage, you can target another card on the field and it loses that much attack permanently. Or it's until the end of the turn. But it's really good if you attack into something small and then use Leading Lady to like make their big person like go to 0 attack.
Okay.
Its scale effect never comes up.
Okay. Only one?
Only one of that.
I
Then we have Comic Relief 3 of. He's the best. He's basically the best card in the deck. What he does is he is on the scale. He's a creature swap. When he destroys him, he's on the scale, and what he does is he targets an Abyss Actor monster you control and a card your opponent controls, swaps them.
FYI, screw this card. This card is the worst. This card is gross.
He swaps them permanently and then destroys himself and then goes to the extra deck.
Now, what's his monster effect?
His monster effect is during the standby phase, no matter what, whoever has control of him has to give him over to the other player. So during standby phase, he switches control to the other player, and that's a mandatory effect. His other effect is when he switches control, the owner of this card gets to pop any Abyss script on the field. And we'll talk about the Abyss script when they're popped later, but it's going to be a key combo that you take your opponent's monster and you're giving them this to pop your own scripts, so they do pretty good nutty effects. Now what you want to do to play around Ash and like Solemn Judgment and stuff is its effect to when it swaps to pop a script is not once per turn, and all the effects of the scripts when they're popped is also not once per turn. So you can go for this and try to summon from your deck when we'll talk about the scripts. You can do that twice per turn.
So is there anything that's not once per turn, or that's only once per turn in this deck?
Mellow Madonna is a hard once per turn.
Is that the only thing?
Wild Hope is a hard once per turn.
You have like a lot of not once per turns.
There are a lot of not once per turns.
Yeah.
This is also the best card in the deck because this deck is a blind going second deck. This scale effect is you put it in the scale, and if your opponent controls a monster, you special summon it.
So you have a second Curtain Raiser in Abyss Actors.
Basically.
Okay.
And that doesn't lock you into Abyss Actors yet either. Its a monster effect is a contribute as cost to set to place any Abyss Actor Pendulum monster from your deck to the scale, but it locks you into Abyss Actors. What's really good about him and not Madonna is you can do his combo and not be locked out of getting Hybrid Director, because if you use Madonna too early, she locks you into Pendulum. So this is a really good card if you use his effect to like get a scale. It's pretty good still because he does not lock you out of Hybrid Director yet.
Okay.
But he's basically a free special or any single scale. So he's every card in the deck.
Okay.
You run one Funky Comedian. You hate the drum, but he's pretty broken. He's for beating over people who just have higher attack than you, since we don't really have any form of really non-destruction, non-battle removal in the main deck. What this does is, on the scale, it tributes any Abyss Actor monster. What's that? Sorry. Here.
That's good. Yeah.
When he's in the scale, you contribute any Abyss Actor monster and target a different Abyss Actor monster and give it its attack till the end of the turn. So you can tribute a superstar and give another superstar as attack, and then it'll just be a 5k superstar, and you can beat over anything. You can use its Pendulum effect once per turn and its monster effect once per turn. When it's special summoned, it gets 500 attack. It's 300 attack per Abyss Actor monster and gains it to its own attack. And then once per turn, it can swap its attack. It can give its attack to another Abyss Actor monster, like a buff, but it can't attack this turn. This includes its own 300 and the buff it gets, but also any other buff that it receives, such as a Wee Witch buff, the 500 buff, it will pass that buff over along with its own attack.
Okay. So that's your big monster like outs essentially, right?
Yeah, that's how I just kill monsters who are more than 6k.
Like huge nibs.
Yeah,
Okay.
huge nibs, etc.
Show us the spells, bro.
So Abyss Script, Rise of the Abyss King. When you activate it,
Quickly explain what all the Abyss scripts just kind of do, the kind of gimmick of them.
Oh, yeah,
'Cause that's part of the huge core of the deck, like you said.
the core of the deck is all the Abyss Scripts. I run these 5, but you can definitely run other ones. When they are destroyed by your opponent's card effect, they do something if you have a face-up Abyss Actor monster in your extra deck. And what they do is actually broken. So you always want to switch over the Comic Relief, which is basically the main gimmick of the deck. You set your script, you give them this card. When it switches, it pops a script, and then you get to kind of do one of either of these effects.
Okay, and then what do each of them do?
What King does is when you activate it on the field, it's not once per turn. You can target cards up to the number of attack position Abyss Actor monsters you control and destroy them. If you control a level 7 or higher Abyss Actor monster, your opponent cannot respond with card effects to this card effect. So what you can kind of do sometimes is set your scales, just do a mini combo Pendulum Summon, Pendulum like a Leading Lady, which is like a 7-star, and then just script them because they're not going to be ready, and you just kill their entire board, and they didn't do any interactions because all you did was special 2, made a 2-link pen summoned, and then you just script them from the hand because you opened one of these, and you just wipe their whole board, and they can't respond, and they just instantly lose.
Okay. And then what's its effect if you pop it?
When you pop it, it grabs 2 Abyss Scripts or Abyss Actors from your deck to your hand. It just has to be 2 unique names. It can't be the same card. It could search itself. It could search 2 scripts. It could search a script and an Abyss Actor. It's really whatever you want.
Oh, there's Abyss Actors and scripts.
Yep.
It's pretty fucking. Oh my god.
You can get 2 scripts, or you can get 1 and 1, or 2 monsters.
Oh my god. Alright. And then what does the other one do?
Now, the reason I run 2 of this is because drawing.
What is it?
This is Abyss Script Abyss Tainment. The reason you run 2 of this is because it's really not that bad to draw because you can just have it in your hand and do combos with it, which is nice. What it does is when you activate it, it's a continuous spell. Twice per turn, which you're going to be using this a lot. You tribute an Abyss Actor as cost, and you set a script from your graveyard back to your spell and trap guard zone. So you're going to be taking the king back, and this is not once per turn, so you can just cycle this over and over, and you can pop the threats first and get this back, and then pop the cards that don't have like interactions but are bodies, just to clear the board to make space to go for the kill. And this just helps you get 2 scripts back from your grave. You can technically use this 3 times if you're just cycling it like that. And then the best effect is when it is set down and destroyed by your opponent, and you have an Abyss Actor monster in your extra deck, you can special any number of Abyss Actor monsters from your main deck, which you can just special 5. And of any name, it could be all the same one. You can summon 3 superstars from your deck, and all superstars effects, they're soft once per turns. So if you literally pop this, they each can set a king to just destroy your opponent's stuff. And they all have 25k.
And you can't stop them. So you can't do anything when they get summoned, right?
Because you summon with superstar, which you always want to summon with at least 1 superstar, your opponent can't react with trap effects or spell effects to the summon like a torrential tribute or treacherous trap hole or something.
It's pretty fucking good. And how often did like your opponent like pop it without you making them pop it? Did it ever come up?
That it came up, and then I just special 5. And what's really crazy if you special when it's kind of just set there, because sometimes you draw it and you set it as a trap, and your opponent just happens to pop because they don't know what it is.
Is it like with like they do it like with DPE or stuff like that?
Yeah, with like DPE, with Twin Twisters, Feather Duster. Feather Duster is really good because it's pretty bad because it fucks your scales. But if you have this set, it's protection because your scales get blown up, but you get the special 5. So you always want to put that with the protection of your scales.
So it's like a debate. It's a good Waking the Dragon.
Yeah.
Basically?
Yeah, searchable,
Nice.
and it has an effect.
Wow.
Now the reason why I run 3 Sassy Rookies is because again their effects are not once per turn. They all have to be killed once by battle, but they all special from deck.
Okay. All right.
And then we have Abyss Playhouse. These cards have so many effects.
Bro, I don't like this card, but you got a lot of stuff. So is this the only field spell you play?
Yes, I run 1 of it because I technically run 3 of it because I run a set rotation and a terraforming.
And then what is that in the corner we're seeing over here?
And then we run triple Mystic Minds. A A lot of the time, you can just kill your own mine with the Abyss King, so you're never under mine. You can always just kill it whenever you want, and you can just use all your spell effects, just combo off, and then get ready to just kill it.
And would you give your opponents like your field spell and then keep mine?
Yeah, I would give them my field spell. Sometimes in one game, I gave them Mystic Mine and I took Playhouse because I had the script, so I knew I had the out for the next turn. So if the Mystic Mine themselves is whatever, so you can use that to get this as well.
And then so explain this one right here because this is a funky field spell.
So while you
What is it?
This is called Abyss Playhouse Fantastic Theater. What this card does is you can reveal one Abyss Actor monster, one Abyss script from your hand, and search any other Abyss script from your deck. So it just gets the other script. If you just have one, you get the other. And its other effect is if you have a Pendulum Summon Abyss Actor monster on the field, your opponent's next monster effect becomes destroy one set, spell, or trap card. So your opponent just is forced to kill your scripts, and then it's kind of like a negate. But your opponent can force to negate whenever they want, which is kind of the bad part. But when you summon 5 from deck, it's the good part.
I hated that card. I played against my boy here, Michael, and on the fifth summon, the earliest summon I could do to stop a Nibiru because I know what that card did. He didn't have any set Abyss scripts or anything, and it still changes the effect of like a Nibiru to pop a set, even if there's nothing. So like it's still just a free negate, like he said. It just really it's really strong. It's surprising how well that worked. And then what else did you play? The staples, right?
Since I'm going second, triple attacks, that, and droplets. Droplets really good in the deck for, I always protect Hyper Director with it, just to dodge imperms and things like that. I always Hyper Director, activate that, because if they imperm Hyper Director, it's a pretty weak point in the deck sometimes. You can combo without him, but you really want him because he's crazy. So that, I just run 2 of to protect my Hyper Director.
Would you play 3 droplets if you could?
Yeah, I didn't have it. I would have definitely 3 droplets over 3 triple attack. Sometimes triple attack was in my hand, it was dead. I don't know how my opponent didn't use a monster effect going second, but sometimes it was dead. So I would actually prefer it to be a 3rd droplet.
Okay.
For the monster effects, extra deck.
I got you, bro. I got you.
This is really the only one that matters that much. It's a 1-link for Abyss Actor, Pendulum Monster. It targets a card on your scale, it special summons it, replaces it with a card from your deck, and locks you to Abyss Actor monsters. So this kind of sets your scale to whatever you want. You always have access to Mellow Madonna. If you have 2 Abyss Actors, you just make this, you pull the other one up, get a Mellow Madonna, and then search any other Abyss Actor to complete whatever combo you're trying to go for. So that is really the main purpose of him, just to kind of cycle all the Abyss Actors.
This deck has a link 1. It's broken. Scientific proof. Limit it. We limit it. Would it fix the deck?
This sometimes you use 2 in a combo, just going first, because with the Curtain Raiser combo, it's really good to use 2 of them in one. So
I've heard enough. We limit it. It's problem solved.
Enemas, because you have a free special summon 1-link, so why not just, if they're not playing under it, get it. This, if you have to go first, or if you're making something that requires protection, Wee Witch buffs everything, and she also cycles back your Hyper Directors when she is destroyed. She gets a Hyper Director back, so you can kind of run 4 sometimes. That actually happened in a game. I used 4 Hyper Directors.
Okay.
Geo Transverser swaps a card your opponent controls with a card you control that it's pointing to. What's broken about this is all the cards it points to and itself don't get destroyed can't be destroyed by card effects, so it's really good against like Battle Butler to like they literally can't get rid of this card or what you're pointing to, and you can forcefully switch the Comic Clown once before you have to switch it with the spell effect of it later. So
then you also play Dark?
Yep, it should have came up. I used it a couple times. Selene, I don't have any spellcasters, but you go Dark into get it into this is triple down pointers for Pen Summon, which is good for access code. Goddess, I only use Goddess with IP once, and then I use this, and this actually won me my 2 games with Outledge. It just the main purpose of this is your opponent can't, when you link.
Don't worry, Bert. I got you.
When you special it, you can use one of your opponent's monsters as a link material. So if you Goddess and they let it go through, you can just kind of take whatever they want off the board. or if you build a board, you can just, as you're linking, link off with someone. They can't respond to this, so it's really cracked.
Okay.
And then when it's summoned, it dark rulers the board. It can't be affected by any cards that don't specifically target it. And what beats Outledge all the time is it has a once per turn special summon from the grave negate. And then Dark Rebellion, it came up one time. I have this guy, and then the Tornado Dragon.
Okay. Nice. And all right. And what's your side deck? Did you have one?
Oh yes, so
All right, just making sure.
so I blind go second both games, and then for my extra deck, side deck going off, I have this for back row. Since you go second, you have the Lightning Storms, the Feather Duster, and then what I do is I blind going second 2 games, and then the last game I just go first. So I have triple summon limits, triple goes in match, triple D barrier, and 2 judgments. They don't want to pop your back row by this point in the duel, so they're not going to be ready for just a bunch of floodgates.
It worked. I'll admit it. I saw that work a couple times, and it was awful. It worked against me too. So that's your deck, right?
Yep.
How'd you do with the whole deck?
I did really good. Outledge, even though Goddess is good versus it, is my hardest matchup, and both my losses were to back row decks. I lost to Sky Strikers and I lost to Outledge. And those are just really hard games to fight versus with the deck, because it doesn't really have main deck back row removal. You could do it in the side deck if you want, but that's just the weakness of it.
And what did you go? What was your record?
I went 1 tie, 2 losses. I tied to Dragon in time, and then as I said, I lost to Outledge and Sky Striker.
And then what were the rest of your matchups?
I fought another Outledge. I fought.
Did you beat him?
Yeah, I beat the last Outledge because I managed to get out the Goddess in 2 of the games.
Was it like a 2-1?
It was to the 3rd game for that. First game is at 5. So.
What about your other games?
I fought DDD, which was a really hard matchup. That went to like the last 50 life points.
Yeah, he won by 50 life points.
I fought Flunder twice, which is also kind of a weak spot for this deck. And then I fought Sword Soul, and I think that's all my matchups I did. So kind of I was looking forward to fighting like Prank Kids and like Phantom Knights and things like that, but I really didn't fight those decks. But that's what just happened.
Any shoutouts?
We all go and play at people's card shop, so
Yo.
shout out to there.
Shout out to Brian.
But yeah, that's it.
I thank you, Mike, and thank you for the 20th place of Best Actor deck profile. Hopefully, this deck proves to be more than just this, bro. Bring some more dubs home, Mike.